All right. Hello, everybody. Today we are here with Meg Langley. She is the person behind the idea of the Vanishing Bighorns exhibit that we have on right now at our Pine Lungs Gallery. Hi, Meg. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, Kate. Thanks for having me. It's my pleasure.
Could you please tell us a little bit about your background?
Oh, that's hard to summarize. I've done a lot of things, lived a lot of places, had the honor of going to both the first immersion school in North America and an amazing Quaker outdoor school, but then was a professional student for many years, teacher, taught on Indian reservation and have a son from Blackfoot man. Studied Blackfeet for a while. That was a lot of fun. And I got my master's in wildlife biology and got pregnant and ended up going back to teaching after finishing up my master's. I studied moose, fascinating calving site selection in particular. I've always been a lover of animal behavior, but that was as close as I got in that world. Moved to Golden because of French immersion schooling. I had been living in Missoula, Montana, having grown up in Washington, D.C. So quite a journey there, and some other places in between, including Kingston, Ontario, and others, and Lethbridge. And anyway, ended up in Golden about 23 years ago. Landed a wonderful job at the College of the Rockies, where I taught for about 20 years. I was the AB instructor and the academic advisor there at our lovely Golden campus for many years, and dealt with Invermere and Cranbrook, the whole College of the Rockies world, which was a wonderful way to raise a son. And then I retired in 2015 and went, I want to go back to biology. So I thought, there's some sheep outside of town. Maybe I'll start looking at them. So that's kind of how the sheep thing evolved. But yeah.
Can you please tell us about the exhibit and what inspired you to create it?
So over the since 2016, I've been watching the sheep. So I initially would just drive out to about 7 kilometers away from Golden and back. And which you often would see the sheep on the road, I would stop and film them and then look at the footage and just learn about them. And, eventually made it more scientific and did a whole fecal analysis study of them, but all the while kind of got to know them, I guess. And there aren't very many. As you can see, there are only 14 sheep in the show, because that's all there were at that time in the herd. Right now, it looks like it's more like 10.
Wow.
But yeah, despite giving birth. So anyway, I like to dabble in art and know quite a few artists, and have done another project where I had 23 artists paint plants, and we made signs around them. We put them on posts where the plants were already growing. So around Golden now, there's this plant sign.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. It was great. And 23 artists participated in that. That was really fun. So I thought, well, why not? Wouldn't that be neat to have 14 artists or somebody do each of the sheep and highlight not just the rams and, each of the individuals that are there, and sort of tell their story, and thinking that maybe it would raise awareness in some of the issues that they face, which are considerable.
Right. Yes, as we're learning. So did you just do kind of a general call out to artists, or how did you advertise to artists?
Yeah, I didn't do a call out. I struggle with having to say no to folks, and I guess I feel fortunate to know a lot of really good artists. So I invited people, basically.
Nice, that's awesome. Yeah, and so there are 14 artists, and there are 14 rams or ewes. How did you get to the point where the art was created? Did you give the artists photos? What did you do there to allow them to create the piece?
So thanks for that question. I spent quite a bit of time sorting through pictures and videos and putting them in folders because if they were a particular animal, so you learn to recognize them. So they have different features. And so I would go through I have hundreds and hundreds of photographs of the sheep at this point. So I went through some of them and picked out, that's all U1 or that's all round 2 or whatever, and then put them in a folder and some movies and gave each artist. So I think they got about 10 on average, maybe stills, and little video. I was hoping they'd kind of get to know their sheep and make a portrait of them. And I left it wide open. They could do it in any medium, any size, anything they wanted to do. I did ask them ideally to put a black frame around it, just thinking that might consistency, but yeah.
Wonderful. And so obviously this is a very large issue that's been happening for quite some time and doesn't seem to be slowing down at all. If people want to help out right now, what course of action can they take? What's the best way for somebody to help out with this issue?
Slow down.
Mm-hmm.
Don't drive so quick. Don't, even if the speed limit says 100, 110, maybe don't go that speed. That's a big one that individuals can do.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the mortality is from trucks, certainly not exclusively, but that doesn't help with the truck problem. Writing letters and things like that. There's certainly, check out the Wild Site webpage if you want addresses or direction around that. I know they've got some things going on for the Radium crew. Okay. For the Golden crew, yeah, letter writing probably isn't going to make a big difference at this point. The changes that they need to, it's bizarre, like the things that they'd have to change is moving their fencing and changing, they have these gates and jump outs that the sheep have learned to use where they're not supposed to, and so they get access to the highway that way. Okay. So it's a pretty technical thing that needs to be changed. The ministry, I do believe, is trying to keep the wildlife off the highway. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the sheep have tricked them in the Kicking Horse Canyon anyway, which is one of the few places where there are sheep and fencing where we kind of know how they handle it. Okay. So hopefully we can learn from that, but it's not really, there's not too much public can do. Pick up garbage, don't litter. If you see people littering, you see people speeding, call them in. If you see wildlife dead on the road, call it in. Mm-hmm. That's, I think, really valuable thing to do too. But yeah, like just being interested and engaged, join Wild Site would be great. That's an action item that I was kind of thinking it's a simple way. And then you can be on a list where if we did need letters written, that we can like put a call out for folks to do that. Okay. So that would be a great action for people to join Wild Site, any branch. Okay, and just wildsite.ca and you'll find out how to. Yeah, there's membership. And then when you sign up under the membership, it asks you to choose which branch. So you could do a golden, where there's 6 branches at this point. So yeah, it's whatever. Of course, we like it if you sign up. I'm from Golden Branch, but the sheep issue is broader than Golden, which is kind of bringing attention to the Golden group a little bit too. It's very different, and this is another aside. They have very different histories. The group here were fed for 30 years, and then actually 33 of them were removed in 2009 and 2007. So, and they are continuing to, they're fed right now, actually. Okay. But, whereas the herd in Radium is a more endemic, natural population, and yeah, viable enough, like the group in Golden, there's so few of them, they won't be here forever. I've tried to get them moved at one point, but there's not a lot of support for that either. Maybe one day down the road. Yeah. And it is what it is. Unfortunately, the rams, 2 rams took off about a month ago and only 1 came back. Day. So that big old, the one with the yellow around its head, that was the only old ram existing, and now he might be dead. But, yeah, hopefully he died a natural death. Maybe he did. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Really appreciate people's interest, and just enjoying the art is really cool that these artists did that and dedicated some time and expense and volunteer effort. I mean, they were compensated, and their art's for sale. They were compensated through grants from the CSRD and from the Kootenai Columbia Cultural Alliance. So thank you to them hugely. Each artist received $250.
Hmm.
So, and then some of them sold, 4 of them sold in Golden Gallery. I don't know if you know, Kate, if any of them sold. I don't think so in Vermeer Gallery. They're going to be in Radium next.
Great. Well, thank
Okay.
you so much for joining us today. And we've loved having this exhibit in our gallery. It's on until the 19th. So if you haven't seen it, come on, take a look. And hopefully we'll see you again down the road, Meg.
Okay, great. Thanks very
Thank you
much,
so
Kate,
much.
for all your support. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.